Good evening and a very warm welcome to one and all. On behalf of Nike Insurance, I would like to thank each one of you for taking the time out and to attend this session. Today, we are going to touch upon a very interesting topic that is cyber insurance keeping ahead of the hackers. It is my honor and a privilege to share the screen with Advocate Mahendra Limaya sir. He is a techno-legal expert in cyber security and cyber legal education. He is diploma holder in mechanical engineering with masters in law and postgraduate diploma holder in cyber law and information technology. He has also been awarded PhD in cyber laws from RTM Nagpur University. He serves as a faculty for cyber law and cyber security for various education as well as government training organizations. His views on cyber laws and cyber security are regularly published in various newspapers. He has provided legal consultation to more than 10,000 people across India till date. Today, we also have with us our CEO and Principal Officer, Mr. Pramod Kulkarni, sir. He has more than 50 years of experience in the field of insurance. He has worked with various esteemed organizations like JB Poda as at the position of CEO and even New India Insurance. We also have with us Mr. Bhavesh Kikla. He handles cyber insurance for Nike Insurance Broking. So before we begin with the session, we would like to run a small poll. There is a set of questions that we have listed down. First of which, as appears on your screen. Esteban, would you be able to run the poll for us?
Sure, just a moment.
So the first question, as you see, is does your organization have a cyber insurance cover? So we have received a response as 81% do not have cyber insurance cover. Moving on to the next question. For those who have cyber insurance covers in place, do you think your organization is adequately covered against the cyber risk? So it's a 50-50% yes and no. So what do you think is a major cause of any cyber attack? Technology, people, or size of an organization? So 59% answers we have received as technology, 30% as people, and 11% as size of organization. As per a research study conducted by KPMG, we have found out that 80% of the major cause of any cyber attack is actually people. Looking at current situation of work from home trends due to lockdown, most of the organizations have shifted their work online. So are you planning to shift your operations from online to offline post lockdown? So 61% have said no, they don't wish to shift from online to offline, and 39% have said yes, they'll be shifting to offline again. So are you aware of cyber insurance and its benefits linked to it? So 72% have answered as no, and 28% have said yes, they are aware about cyber insurance and its benefits. Right. How much amount did India lose in the year 2019 due to cyber attacks? Is it 10 lakhs, 1 crore, 1 billion, or 1 trillion? So 60% have answered that 1 billion is the amount that India has lost last year. 15% say it's 1 crore. 1 trillion is said by 20%, and 5% say it's rupees 10 lakhs. The exact figure would be 1.24 trillion. As mentioned in the Quick Hill report analysis that it did for cyber survey, it conducted in the year 2019. So we have, as due to cyber attacks, we have lost 1.24 trillion last. So moving on to the further process of the webinar, I would now like to hand over to Pramod Kulkarni sir. Kulkarni sir, if you can say a few words.
Hello, good evening again, and hearty welcome to all the participants. We find it quite encouraging to see voluminous response for this webinar today. It was mentioned about the huge amount of money we are losing because of cyber attacks. And the poll could just exactly show that how many people are aware and how many people are not aware. If we read any newspaper, almost every alternate day, there's some news about somebody's bank account being totally vanished. Somebody has a cyber attack. Somebody's system is affected by the different reasons for cyber attacks. So all this is known to us at the personal level. But if you think of the corporate levels, SMEs, cooperative banks, they are using large amount of computerized systems, digital systems, and cloud storage also. So this adds to the exposure of most of the operations of the different companies working all over the world. I was reading a global report about such happenings, and about 30% of the cyber security breaches are unknown. They are not declared because the declaration and publication of such things is at the stake of their brand name. The brand name protection becomes more important than anything else. Most of the time, these things are kept within the four walls. Well, the practice of the globe, so we have to accept it. In the Nike Insurance Broking, we have believed in having talent pools and collective decision making to take care of the clients more effectively. We have a separate team for handling different type of insurances like fire insurance, product liability, marine insurance, health insurance, and other type of insurances which are required in the market. Today we are discussing more about the cyber insurance for the webinar. For cyber insurance, Richa and Bhavesh are the two leading people who take care of our requirements. Of course, both of them are supported by a keen underwriting by Amar, who has got the analysis of different policies, updates in the market. As I know offhand that about 250 clients are on our list for cyber insurance. And it's very interesting to know that some of the clients have a annual turnover of about 5,000 crores. And some of them down the line have got the turnovers like small SMEs, cooperative banks, and other units which their turnover can be counted on the fingertips. So the cyber has got a large requirement in India and outside. So our concentration on that is being done. Today, we have got eminent personality for the cyber insurance and cyber law handling. You can see his screen behind him. There's so many awards. We can see that. It's a rare thing that an engineer with legal background has a doctorate in cyber insurance. So I find it very interesting that we can have the in-depth knowledge from him about this webinar today. I would request, it's my privilege to request Advocate Limay to take webinar further and complete it.
Good evening all. It's my privilege to have this particular opportunity to introduce before you the new topic which is not explored yet by the industry, that is known as cyber insurance. Friends, in the recent poll what we have seen that most of us are aware that what cyber insurance is all about, but we are not aware how these type of cyber threats are emerging and those threats will impact our organization. The survey proved that 81% does not have cyber insurance cover for their organization. And most significantly, the last question was, people are even not aware what is the damage or what is the impact of non-availing cyber insurance. India almost lost huge amount in cyber attack, and if we take this amount collectively, what globe has lost, it is beyond our imagination. So it's my effort or it's my just attempt to make you aware why cyber security is needed and what you can do to prevent your organization from this sort of cyber attacks. So hacker is a broad term. It is just access to our system without our due permission. Okay, so we will move ahead. What is today's agenda? It is why there is a need of cyber security. The question answer session handled makes it amply clear that there is a need of cyber security. What could be the legal issues in this particular cyber security, or what are the types of attack which our organization can face, and what are the solutions for these type of attacks which our organization can face. So all of us have understand that we have migrated from physical to digital world. This migration was not so smooth for many of our organizations, but due to some reasons or due to RBI compliance or due to the scenario which is emerging in this present COVID scenario, everybody was compelled to move to this particular digital world. So this migration in some cases was not anticipated. Organizations were not prepared to migrate, and there were other issues which the organizations could not take care of. There are immense cyber threats and vulnerabilities which occurred in this hasty migration from physical to digital world. Basically, we don't understand what are the vulnerabilities in cyberspace, because we are just taught that digital world, it is fast communication is there, fast transfer of payments are there, fastly data can be transferred from one location to another, but very few of us have cared about what is the security aspect of this particular migration from physical to digital world. So the amount lost in these sort of attacks, very few can assess. I can just give you example. If an organization loses, say, some hard disk in transit, means a typical example, hard disk is sent for repair or for data recovery to some other person, that hard disk is lost. What could be the amount of information or data stored into that particular hard disk? Can any one of us assess that particular value? It is practically impossible to assess that particular value, which is residing in our electronic devices, electronic gadgets, in the form of data. So it is practically impossible to assess what is the valuation of our data. There are no fixed rules initially to assess or to quantify that particular valuation. And most of the cyber crimes goes unreported. There are different issues why these cyber crimes go unreported. Maybe for reputation of organizations don't want to report this sort of cyber crimes. Since personal data protection bill, which is before parliament, is not passed yet, India does not have stricter regulations for voluntary disclosure of these sort of cyber crimes or cyber incidents which happen in the organization. So many organizations never report the cyber crimes which happen in their premises unless some law enforcement agency on its own takes cognizance or somebody reports regarding those particular crimes. So non-understanding of what are the cyber crimes, whether this particular act or incident can be termed as cyber crime, this lack of understanding also results in non-reporting of cyber crimes. Another factor which we are going to consider, which is most crucial, it was one of the questions in our survey, which is the significant factor in this sort of cyber crimes or this particular scenario. Very few have answered, that is their staff. Unless our staff is properly trained to use all these new gadgets, all these technology, our organization is naturally vulnerable to these sort of cyber attacks. Simple understanding, or I'm just posing simple question before you. Everybody must be aware that how passwords should be protected, what is the length of password, what should contain into that particular password. But if there are some attendees from, say, cooperative sector or some banks, can they keep their hand on their heart and tell that they have never shared their password with their colleague or with their seniors? Because this basic knowledge that never share your password is impractical in certain situations in organization. So these sort of basic things, that you should not share your password, you should have a strong password, why password needs to be updated on regular basis. These basic tips are not passed on to our staff, and our staff is not that much capable enough of understanding what are the vulnerabilities in cyberspace. A simple example, for somebody's personal work, that particular employee comes into organization, inserts his pen drive in some of the open ports, takes out some printout, removes that particular pen drive and goes away. So according to understanding of that particular employee, he has not committed any mistake. He has just inserted one pen drive, which was his personal property, into that particular system of the organization, took some printout, that's all. But whether that particular pen drive was properly scanned, who guarantees that that particular pen drive was not containing some sort of malwares or viruses or trojans? Who will assure that this particular pen drive was free from all different sorts of attacks which are possible through these sort of open ports? So unless employees are properly trained to protect our system, though very capable of sustaining huge cyber attacks, human factor or people are very crucial elements as far as cyber security is concerned. You can provide highest security prone gadgets to your employees, but if they leave backdoor means small loophole, small security loophole into that particular device, then there is no use of this so-called high-end computerized or digitalized gadgets. A small backdoor entry unintentionally left into that particular device may cause huge harm to organization. Now there are a lot of compliances required as far as banking sector is concerned, or even cooperative banks are concerned. VAPT and IT audits are now mandated by Reserve Bank of India. It is a regular feature in their annual report to carry out VAPT audit and IT audit. It is not for sake of audit. Basically, these VAPT and IT audits gives you or shows you mirror of security of your organization. Because during VAPT audit, lot of vulnerabilities or lot of incidents are observed by third-party auditors. These audits are carried out by techno-savvy people, and they use various tools to carry VAPT or IT audit of organizations and come up with various suggestions that the organizations may be having, or some security suggestions, solutions for protection of organization. So these compliances are now mandated by RBI. Now, on background of all these, urgent issues go unaddressed simply because people do not know how to take first step. Means if you want to protect your organization, what should be the first step? By just buying all the software, all the advanced hardware, it is not sufficient. So what are the required measures for protect any organization as far as cyber threats or cyber securities are concerned? That needs to be understood. Now, with this much introduction, you must have understood that cyber security is need of hour. And with this work from home scenario, when most of the users are compelled to use digital means to carry out their various activities, the need, it is not need of hour, now it is need of every passing minute. Because we know enough regarding what are the threats, but we are not aware how we should mitigate those particular risks, what actions we should take to protect our organization from these sort of incidents. I will just give you some of the examples what has occurred. Say unauthorized access. This is few examples which I have cited from some international domain. So illegal access or unauthorized access, what example I just gave you regarding entry or insertion of some pen drive into your system and information of 5,000 customers is stolen. Beauty of cybercrime is that you never know that crime has occurred because entire information is available on your system. Somebody has copied the important data. When you access to that particular system, you find that yes, data is available in my computer. So how you will be suspicious that somebody has taken away or somebody has copied that particular data unless you know something about technology, how these sort of incidents can be monitored, how these logs can be traced. So just by insertion of a small device known as USB or pen drive, data of huge number of customers can be taken away. So this is how unauthorized access can happen. It is similar to theft of digital assets. What is unauthorized access? Now, containing data of 8 lakh clients were removed from that particular system. Another example, this happened by stealing of 2 laptops from the organization. Another example is again privacy breach. 4,000 client records. When we previously talked about what could be the quantum or in terms of financial conversion, what could be the damages to that particular organization. Now here 4,000 clients record was penalized for 8,90,000 means $890,000. So the cost of data, the cost of information, we are not able to assess unless we know what that data is capable of, because data for one particular organization may be not that much not significant, but the same data will be significant for some other organization for some other purpose. So any data which resides in our organization is very valuable and we should honor that particular data and protect that particular data. Here again, human error. In most of the cyber crimes, it has observed that human error is one of the integral element of that particular cyber crime, because ignorance of security warnings, ignorance of security tips is the prime cause of most of the cyber attacks. Just I am posing a small question to you. You are using a system regularly. So when you start your system, it takes say 3 minutes to start that particular system. And it happens that your system is taking more than 3 minutes, say 4 minutes, 5 minutes for starting that particular system. The same system which used to start within 3 minutes is now taking 5 minutes to start. Do you suspect anything? If you don't suspect anything, then you are wrong, because these small say errors or these small lapses lead to huge losses to organization, because within that 2 minutes some backdoor activity is going on in that particular system, which is known as boot error or boot crimes, or boot activities are carried out. While booting that particular system, the attacks are carried out on that particular system. So human error is very major as far as these sort of threats are concerned. Now it is very unlikely that we can mitigate all these risks, but if we implement proper security measures, there can be some sort of, say, respite to the organization. Most of the enterprises are attempting to fight these modern cyber attacks through perimeter based defense. That is, they are installing antivirus softwares, they are installing firewalls, they are doing whatnot. Now, new techniques are coming. Data can be converted into some other form. Masquerading of data is carried out. Anonymization of data is carried out. Encryption of data is carried out. So all these advanced or perimeter based defenses are applied by the organizations. But how many organizations follow defensive strategies or defensive techniques? Because there are two types of theories which are going as far as protection of organization is concerned. One is making yourself prepared for the attack, assess the quantum of damage which could happen to your organization, and another is to protect your gadgets, protect your infrastructure by some technical measures. Now 80% of the cyber incursions would be can be substantially mitigated if enterprises uses simply good cyber hygiene. Good cyber hygiene means proper training of the staff, the people, which is the very crucial element as far as cyber security is concerned. Because there is one technological or say one legal provision which is covered under section 43A, where all the organizations or all the corporates which are possessing any sensitive personal data or information is not capable of protecting that particular sensitive personal data, then that personal or that particular organization will be liable to huge penalties. There are some of the decisions which you can go through, what penalties have been inflicted by, say, adjudicating officer, which is the judge in this sort of cases. So he has imposed huge penalties on various banks as far as provision of section 43A is not covered. So with this much, say, information, now what is the solution for prevention of this particular risk, which is inherently there with all the organizations? Because what happens when any organization which is using computer system or computer network, it is bound to collect fair amount of data. Now, while collecting that particular data, which laws are applicable for protection of that particular data? Rarely any organization goes into depth of that particular legal provisions. What is the regulatory regime available for compliances of this sort of data protection? Now, when this sort of data is handled by organization and the valuation of that particular data is not known, then what can be done? If we want to mitigate risks in our organization, there are few different strategies, there are few different techniques by which we can reduce or minimize those particular risks. So when we are not sure what is the quantum or what is the valuation of that particular data, then best thing is to protect that particular data with suitable techniques, suitable measures, and one of the best solution which is presently available is through insurance or cyber security insurance coverage, because we are not aware what could be the quantum of that particular data. In technology, on daily basis, different innovative methods or modus operandi are devised by criminals to get hold of this particular information. what is happening in real film, that is happening in cyber scenario. Criminals are running ahead and police are after them. So we will not find police coming up with preventive measures, preventive tips, because the criminals which are known as cyber criminals are very tech savvy, they are very advanced, they are highly qualified. Just take case of Cosmos Bank. Anyone in that particular banking domain never imagined that entire switch can be replaced, replica can be produced of that particular switch, and entire original or main switch can be bypassed to carry out the transaction. So the imagination with cyber criminals is so innovative that we are not able to judge, or we are not able to provide all these security measures, because that was also perimeter defense provided by the bank. They inserted one particular switch in between the communications, but still that particular switch was bypassed by another switch, and bank system was not capable of identifying which is the original or genuine switch and which is the duplicate or fishy switch. So when every bank, every organization is collecting huge amount of information, the main problem is how to protect that particular information and to safeguard that particular organization, because there are strict laws for non-compliance of protection of information. I can give you just small example. There are a lot of cases where SIM cards are swapped in the sense mobile service providers initially issued duplicate SIM card without proper verification of the documents. Now, it is per se very small error. He has not verified, or hurriedly he has verified the documents. But the loss cost to the user or genuine owner of that particular SIM card was to the tune of 12 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 60 lakhs, 1 crore. So just non-performing of basic KYC information may land that particular organization in trouble. And the million-dollar question before us is whether to retain this entire risk by the organization itself, or to transfer some of the risk through cyber insurance. So what I tried to make you aware is, when we are into this digital era, data is very crucial. We are not having imagination or understanding of what is the magnitude of data available with our organization, whether that data comes under category of sensitive personal data, non-personal data, what could be the cost inflicted if that sort of data is breached by some criminals. So why to have this sort of risk on our organization if there are some solutions available? Because in cyber security, or in this particular cyber space, nothing is 100% secured, 100% safe. Every time you will find that even the genuine softwares purchased by you needs to be patched up. What is this patching up process? Patching up process means upgradation of that particular software. So you will have to upgrade your risk on every passing day, because cyber threat is looming large over all the organizations, and most of the times it is observed that criminals are more interested in stealing data of your organization. So how to protect that particular data? Technical measures are there, but similarly or simultaneously there are other measures available, which is in the form of cyber insurance. Now this is very innovative or new concept. Many organizations, as per survey, suggested that even not heard of what is cyber insurance is all about. It is basically protection of your organization's all IT assets, including data, But these security or these covers are not itself sufficient unless there are proper techniques, proper audits of that particular organization, because the amount lost in cyber crimes is unimaginable. And as I mentioned previously, only 10% or 12% of the crimes are reported. So whatever you have seen is tip of iceberg. It is not exact amount which is quantified yet, because for say their prestige or for different issues, organizations never report this sort of cyber crimes. But with advancement of technology, these crimes are bound to happen in large magnitude, and after COVID scenario, these crimes are already getting increased by every passing day. You just open any newspaper and you will just witness how many cyber crimes or frauds have happened on past day. So every day that amount will grow, amount will increase. So there are various risks, not only to your organization in physical form, but in digital form also. And the best present solution available for us is to go for what is known as cyber security insurance. I'm not going to describe or elaborate what are the, say, policy risks, policy plans, etc., etc. More capable people are available, but my limited role was to make you aware that cyber threats are looming large over all the digital assets of the organization, and to protect ourselves from this particular risk, one of the solution is to transfer that particular risk to some other instrument which is presently available in the form of cyber insurance cover. So with this much introduction or this much understanding or this much, say, brief of this particular subject, now I will ask Mr. Bhavesh to take over the matter, to take over the seminar further, webinar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your insights. It was a quite informative session. So now we'll move ahead for questions. So during registration, we have received a lot of questions, but due to constraint of time, we'll be taking only a few questions. So sir, first question is from Mr. Manjoor Ahmed. So he's asking how importance of business, especially finance sector, for cyber insurance in present and future reality. Means how cyber insurance can help a financial organization in present and future.
There is some audio problem, so you can, if type the question, I will be able to answer because I'm not hearing you clearly.
Am I audible, sir, now?
Yeah.
Okay. So the question is from Mr. Manjoor Ahmed.
So there seems to be some error. If you type, I will be able to answer the question properly.
Okay.
One of the question is there is a bigger problem, and how can we set them up in manner that will limit this hacking, and where to do store all password in a secure manner. So for password, I can recommend that there need not be any place to store your password apart from your mind, because if you write that password anywhere, there is always imminent threat that particular password can be compromised. Simple way, what I recommend is to make or prepare a strong phrase which is practically unexpected from you. Means I can openly share my password with you. My password could be, say, Osama bin Laden. If it is my password, it is most surprise element into it. You cannot imagine. And if that O becomes 0, then how you are able to understand what caps and what smalls are used into that particular password, it is not known. So you must use small caps, alphabets, special characters into that particular password and update or upgrade that password on regular basis. Now there is one question, can I insure my cryptocurrency, that is digital asset? Basically cryptocurrency is very gray area. RBI is coming out with its own observations on cryptocurrency. Basically, since it is a gray area, no bank or no insurance company, according to me, will go and cover this particular cryptocurrency because it is not legalized yet. There is very much difference about the judgment provided by Honorable Apex Court regarding cryptocurrency. Many have took that particular verdict in the wrong sense that Supreme Court has allowed cryptocurrency, but the cryptocurrency is in gray area yet. So you cannot protect cryptocurrency as of now. If there is any question, you can type because I'm not able to hear anything.
So I've already typed the questions in the chat box.
Yeah. I'll go through chat box and just check. So that I have answered, can I insure my cryptocurrency? If there is any question.
So there's one question, how cyber insurance can help a financial organization in present and future?
No, huge problem in audio.
So question is how cyber insurance can help financial organization in present and future? Sir?
So there is one question which I am seeing on the screen, that is I may have to data privacy, data mining within India and database of clients is how it is useful for a criminal hacking of password. So for that a law is in offing, that is personal data privacy bill is before Parliament, and all these personal sensitive informations will be protected under that particular law, but that law has to see means has not received not by the Parliament. Cyber insurance is coming under which form, whether it's under general insurance. So I think it's for you to answer, Bhavesh.
Yes, yes. So I think we are done with the questions, and whatever remaining questions are there, our team will be getting back to you and will help you solve your queries. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So before we conclude, I request all the participants present over here to just stay till the end, because we have some important announcements to make in the end. I hope my screen is visible. So first of all, I would like to thank Advocate Mahendra Limaya sir for joining us today and sharing his valuable insights with all of us. I would also like to thank our CEO and Principal Officer, Mr. Pramod Kulkarni sir, who also joined us today and shared his valuable knowledge and wisdom with us. In the end, I would like to thank each and every participant for joining us today in the webinar. We tried to cover most of the aspects when it comes to cyber law and cyber insurance, but still most of the aspects were left uncovered. And I'm sure you people must be having a lot of questions and queries in your mind. So as you can see, on the screen, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So idea is like, it's a request, like let's connect post this webinar just to understand like where does your business risk lies and what could be the limit of liability. As discussed in the webinar also, like the future is digital and the future is online. And as I speak, lot of companies are getting compromised and lot of cases are being reported, and companies are losing millions and millions of dollars, which is not only affecting the organization but also the economy. And as Sir rightly said, like anyone, or be it an organization or be it an individual, anyone who is connected with the network is at risk of getting attacked. On the screen, you can see like me and Richa are handling cyber insurance team at Nike Insurance Broking. Our contact details are available on the screen. So feel free to call us, or you can drop us an email, or you can send us a message, and we'll get back to you shortly. And in the end, as I said, okay, we have an important announcement. So important announcement ये है कि on suggestions of Mahendra Limaye sir, हम लोग आने वाले दिन में एक साइबर इंश्योरेंस वेबिनार करने जा रहे हैं जो एक्सक्लूसिवली कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स के लिए होगा, और वो मराठी लैंग्वेज में किया जाएगा, और ये सजेशन महेंद्र लिमाय सर की तरफ से आया है. सो दैट्स ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड, एंड वी होप टू होस्ट यू अगेन. थैंक यू.